The village was an umbrella, and I remember thinking, what do we need an umbrella for? But every afternoon, literally every afternoon, there was a thunderstorm and it poured with rain, really heavy rain. And the contrast between like the freezing cold air conditioning and outside and the humidity, I'd never ever experienced it because I come from, Western Europe. We hardly had air conditioning in the 1990s in the UK anywhere, certainly not ice cold compared to this humidity. So the environment was really different. It was also controversially, or not controversially, it was the last games where we had gender testing, gene testing, and that happened when we arrived at the games. So the
Oh,
mouth swab that's being discussed now. So
really?
that was the first thing that happened. All the women were taken one way and all the men went another way. And the men went to their rooms and the women went to be tested.
I didn't know that it was already tested.
Yeah. So that was the last time it was in the games. So it was quite a monumental games from that perspective. What I remember about it is how odd it was to be walking around in a place that was literally like a village. I mean, there was everything there. There were shops and there were restaurants and there were coffee places and there were these people, and it was like being on the set of Star Wars. So there were groups of people who were like little tiny girls with squeaky voices, and they were all the gymnasts, but they all went round together in a bundle. Yeah. And they were just like a little gang of, and then you'd get these sort of basketball players who were nearly 7 foot tall, and they would all walk around together, looking really tall and very whatever. And you'd get weightlifters who were much more sort of broad and bulky. It was like sort of tribes of people, but they were all different body shapes. And then everyone was in a uniform, so you've just got this sort of 200 or so different uniforms going around everywhere. Everything is about what you're wearing, what your numbers on your accreditation are. So whilst it's a human village environment, you set these really different parameters about where you fit. Do you fit into this color of uniform or that shape of body, or whether you've got an A or an M or an F on your accreditation. And there was so much sort of learning. I mean, it was so like wide-eyed there.